Good afternoon, everybody. Good to see you all today. I promise you that this will be a very short meeting because Jerry's not talking this afternoon. So I only have a few things to go over with you today, so we'll keep it short and sweet. With that being said, without further ado, welcome to May's edition of our Town Hall meeting. I'll call forth Pastor Elliott to kick us off in prayer and go through the pastoral care update.
Would you believe it? He actually gave me the clicker this time. He swears this is the only one. He's not going to prank me this month. We'll see if that actually works. Well, it's good to see you all here today. If you're online, we welcome you as well. Let us bow our heads in prayer. Father, wow, here we are. Another month has passed, and we are at this meeting once again where we get to hear all the great things that you are doing here at the Lutheran Haven. We get to uncover problems that we get to fix. And of course, we get to always give you praise. This is the place you've planted for us. This is the place you continue to sustain. This is the place where you come to us and serve us. Wow. We are so blessed. As we go forward in this meeting now, we ask that you would open up our ears to hear all the other blessings that you have for us to hear, and that we would in turn give you praise. This we all ask in Jesus' name. Amen. All righty. Oh, I have the clicker. There we go. As usual, I usually, sometimes we have new people, so I go through it every month. I know it's boring, but I want to remind you that we always have Bible studies on Monday mornings at 10 a.m. at the Harbor, 11 a.m. at the Lodge, and 1 p.m. at the Landings Parlor. So you're always welcome to attend one of those Bible studies, or you can go to St. Luke's to see the men's Bible study at Wednesday at 10:45, or the women's Bible study also at 10:45 in the morning. I understand that this coming Wednesday, that is tomorrow, will be the last one for the summer for the men and women's Bible study. But we have one more week for community night, so we're going to go until the 27th. So the Bible study and community night Bible study will wrap up on May the 27th. Worship times are 9 a.m. in the sanctuary and the Generation service in Founders Hall. At 10:30, there's also another service in the sanctuary, the fuel service in Founders Hall, and of course, the service over here at the Harbor across the street. There is a fellowship time designated in between those two service times at the church from 10 to 10:30, but after the service, because we like ruining everybody's lunch, at the Harbor from 11:30 until noon. We've had, over the past several weeks, about 20 to 25 in that fellowship over at the Harbor. It's been really sweet. And I can't tell you how many they've had over at the church because no one ever tells me. So, besides, I'm always running over here during that time to do worship. So, Sunday Bible studies continue, so make sure you check St. Luke's announcements for the current offerings. Other worship times, of course, are Monday night, 7 p.m., and the afternoon divine service this month is on May the 28th. That is next Thursday at 1:30 p.m. There's going to be lots of goodies, and I believe it'll probably be a Memorial Day theme, so there's going to be flags and all sorts of different things there for the fellowship time after that service. We held a National Day of Prayer event a little bit over a week ago, and we had 21 participants come and pray that day, which is about triple what we had in the previous National Day of Prayer event. And we are going to continue to hold that annually. This was actually a project for Sophia and her deaconess internship. She put that all together for us, and she did a wonderful job. We look forward to other things that she will do down the road. What else? I forget how many. I think we're at 1,000 visits year to date as of April 30th. So the team continues to visit those on campus and off campus in order to, let people know that they're not forgotten. Speaking of visitation, before I get to the next slide, in about a week, on the 31st, St. Luke's is graduating its first class of 10 Stephen ministers, and they'll be commissioned, I think, at the 10:30 service in the sanctuary. Or maybe it's a 9 a.m. I don't know. One of the two services in the sanctuary. And that is part of a new effort that the church is coming alongside those in need, both at the church and over here at the Lutheran Haven, to provide visitation services on a regular basis, trying to increase our visibility, bringing the Word of God and comfort to those who are in some sort of stress. Whether you're just at the hospital or you're in a nursing home and rehab, or maybe you're just lonely here. We're trying to augment all the visitation services and make this more of a community of faith, more in line with Acts chapter 2 as we go along. If you are interested in becoming a Stephen minister, you please send a message off to Pastor Sam over the church, and he'll get you signed up into the next class. With that being said, I'm going to switch over to the Neighbor to Neighbor program and ask Paul Wiegert to come on up.
Thank you. Okay, you can read what you got on the screen there, and I'll put what I had in my paper. But first of all, thank you for giving me the opportunity to talk to you about the Neighbor to Neighbor. As you can see, I'm happy to report that we have 55 residents that have taken advantage, and I was told by a number they didn't put some of them down because it didn't go through the channel, so it's more than 55. But it has become a great tool for our residents to use, for our volunteers to give their time, as well as to give their time and their talents to other people. And I also like to remind you, if you are going through that, it could take as long as 48 hours to do this, especially if we have to go through the voicemail and then get your call back to set it up and then to assign. So that, just to let you know that. So I guess you'd say patience is the word there. There's process to follow too, is when you do ask a request, a volunteer, of course, then matches what you want with the person who can do it. So that's the process that we go through. And we have volunteers that work Monday through Friday. They work either in the morning or in the afternoon, depending on their schedule. And they will call you when they set this up. Also, calls coming in on the weekend will be taken, of course, care of on Monday, and you will receive a call back then. Calls received later in the day, that's been a problem a little bit, but there's been some time when it had to be done, so we have taken care of that to see that your request has been processed out then. And want to let you know too, we have a bunch of great people, but we're not miracle workers. There may be something obviously in the tech area that we can't fix, especially if they would ask me to do it, but I wouldn't even be there. But but anyway, we'll try to do the best to solve your problem to get whatever you want done. Again, there is some need for volunteers, especially in that tech area. And if you have that talent of can do that, please let us know. And we need also some help in our office because basically we try to assign the volunteer 2 times a month. But again, some days there's not much there, so they don't have to be there all that long. But anyway, occasionally we have to assign 1 or 2 people to 3 times, which I don't like to do. But we have some people that are gone now for the summer, and so we're going to have to do that. And I'd like to ask if anybody would like to volunteer to be in an office position there. Please let us know, and it doesn't take long to train you, and I know you could do a real good job. So again, I want to like to thank you for serving as volunteers, and I want to encourage you that if you need help, to call and ask for it, because you are helping us as much as we are helping you through this process. Thank you.
Just one more note on visitation. I touched on the Stephen Ministers, but that visitation program from St. Luke's is also going to be augmented by elders and other volunteers, and we encourage you to volunteer as well, especially here on the Haven campus, and especially within the harbor next door. And we encourage you to join the next Stephen Minister class. After that, I think Activities is up next, but she isn't here, so that must mean Raleigh's coming back. All right.
Thank you, sir. Yeah, Lynn's out on a trip to Lancaster with like 30 some of our residents, I think. So anyways, here's what she wanted me to tell you about. All right, I'll go through this quickly. May 27th, bingo. May 29th, birthday luncheon at Golden Corral. June 2nd, LWML luncheon. 12 p.m. June 3rd, the movie is Evan Almighty. I know that she would love to see you come out for these movies because the last 2 months there has been this many people. She thought maybe it was a movie selection. So anyways, June 5th, Corn Fest. We'll be talking about that here in a few seconds. June 8th is plant-based. June 10th is the auxiliary potluck. All right. June 16th is our next town hall meeting. The 19th of June is Cooking with Chef Eddie. June 20th, Silver Linings Band Summer Kickoff. Where did we get that name? Prince of Peace, correct, Jerry? The Silver Linings Band? Yeah. So a group from Prince of Peace reached out to us, and I got her connected with Lynn, and they're going to be coming out. It's free. Come on out and enjoy them. June 24th is bingo. The 26th is a birthday lunch, and she's still working on where that's going to be. June 29th, I wanted to point this one out in particular. That's going to be the Sheriff's Department Financial Crimes Seminar. As much as we get scammed around here, they're always on top of things and always trying to provide you all with as much information as possible to protect yourselves. So again, June 29th. And we'll highlight that again in the June Town Hall meeting and probably put it on the scroll. And then July 3rd is the Stars, Stripes, and Barbecue Bites, celebrating 250 years of freedom. That'll be outside at the pool and around the fellowship hall area, weather permitting. All right. If you haven't noticed, there are some new boards on the left side of that wall going down the hallway towards the ceramics room down there. And these will be our new display boards that display our community events, our special events, house sales, other Haven and non-Haven happenings and events. So you can always come in here, check the hallway down there. We're going to post as much as we can up there for you all. If you want to post something up there, just get with Lynn and she'll make sure that it happens. Okay. Corn Fest. There we go. June the 5th. Coming up. We'll be here, 2 weeks time just about, right? 2 sittings at 11:30 and 11:30 a.m., 1 p.m. All right. Family and community is allowed. We've had questions on that. There's been some residents said, hey, if I want to bring, a family member, may I? Yes, you may, as long as you just go see the concierge and get a ticket for them. All right. The tickets are free, but that tells us how many people are coming and how much we need to accommodate for. There will be cash-only raffle tickets and a silent auction bidding. Raffles and auction items will end at 2:30 p.m. on that day. Monies that are raised are going towards refurbishment, first and foremost, of our handbells. We love those golden ringers and everything in between. We want to get them refurbished, and that's our primary objective here. If we get above and beyond that, then it's going to be at the frat committee's discretion, but a couple of potentials are the Memory Maker Cafe and the caregiver, for lack of a better term or phrase, I should say, name, the caregiver respite care program. You don't have to be present to win. If you buy your raffle item and you leave, like you're in the earlier session and whatnot, they'll contact you if you win, okay? And then volunteers are needed. So, and Lynn says that there will be a sign-up sheet posted out here next week with the volunteer spots and opportunities for that. All right, so excited to have the Corn Fest coming back. I'm really excited. Mr. David Vorpagel got some fresh corn for us. Yeah, some good stuff coming out of Zellwood too, isn't it? Outstanding. So we look forward to that. With that being said, I'll call forth Mary Ann from Foundation. She's got a real quick announcement for you. And since I'm after you, I'm almost just going to hang out up here. There you go.
Thank you. Hello, everybody. My announcement really is very quick. I just wanted to let you know that Christmas Seal Art Time is coming up. It is fast approaching. I will post a deadline on the scroll, but usually we have it ending around the end of June, beginning of July, but we accept any kind of art. And this year is going to be really exciting. This is our 80th Christmas Seal campaign. Sounds like a really good theme to me, but no pressure. So in any case, we hope that you participate. We love having people do art of any kind, and we always post it along this hallway, and you as the residents pick your favorite, and that will become the official seal. So thank you so much.
Thanks, Marianne. All right, I'll get to mine now. And I'm the last speaker, by the way. All right, hot topic. It's hurricane season. Well, not yet, a couple weeks from now, but every May I talk about the upcoming hurricane season. What are we looking at here? All right, so the weather company, which is like the Weather Channel, places like that, are predicting 12 storms, 6 hurricanes, and 2 major hurricanes. That's Category 3 or more. CSU, that's Colorado State University, who is the leading authority, believe it or not, on hurricane predictions. Coming out of the mountains, yet they are the most accurate out there. Go figure. They're predicting 13 named storms, 6 hurricanes, 2 Cat 3s. The average over the years is 14, 7, and 3 in those categories. Why do I bring this up? What does all these numbers mean? CSU is telling us that there is a predicted below or slightly below average season this year. Believe it or not. Now, before I get to the names, let me remind you of something. I don't care if it's an above average like it was last year, or an average the year before, or a below average. All it takes is one hurricane to make it an active season. So around here, we prepare for the worst and pray for the best. 1992 is a classic example. They had one of the lowest named seasons around. They were only predicting 6 total hurricanes that year along the Atlantic Basin. If anybody was living in Miami or knew about what happened in Miami that year, the first one out of the gate was Hurricane Andrew, costing billions of dollars. So again, it only takes one to ruin your day. All right, let's see if your name is up here. Arthur, Bertha, Cristobal, Dolly, Edward, Faye. I don't ever want to see that name again. If you were around for Hurricane Faye years ago. Gonzalo, Hannah, Isaias, that was about 5 years ago. Josephine, Kyle, Lee, Marco, Nana, Omar, Paulette. I know we have a Paulette on campus. Renee, Sally, Teddy, Vicky, and Wilfred. And then when they get done with that list, if they get through that list, then they go to the Greek alphabet, and that's how they start there. All right, so what does this mean? Let's talk about the hurricane categories. Basically, a tropical storm happens when the winds hit 45 miles per hour, between 45 and about 73. When they hit 74, it becomes a Cat 1 hurricane, 74 to 95. Cat 2 is 96 to 110. Cat 3 is where your major hurricanes start. That's 111 to 129. Cat 4 is 130 to 156. Cat 5 is put your head between your legs and say goodbye. That's a big one, right? And they've even talked about, after the last few years, of even naming, it's coming up with a Category 6, which I hope they never get to. So those are your hurricane categories. So what does it mean? As hard as we try to predict, you never know. We can't predict everything. We don't know what's going to happen. So as I said earlier, we need to prepare as if there's going to be an impact. It's better to be prepared than not, all right? And all it takes is one to ruin your day. So I think it's, for anybody who hasn't heard about hurricanes or doesn't know much about them, I think it's important that you know the difference between a watch and a warning. So a watch is basically means that conditions are right for that thing to move into your area. If you've been through a hurricane down here, you'll notice that all of a sudden we'll be okay, and there's a hurricane down south, and as it starts inching closer and the hurricane's, down in South Florida and the winds start pushing north, you'll start getting the tropical storm warnings. And as those winds hit and now the hurricane's becoming imminent, it goes from watch to warning. That means that it's almost about to impact your area. All right, those are the major differences. Most people think that water is the main issue with a hurricane. It's not. It's the wind more than anything else. Loose debris, broken branches, all kinds of things that can do damage as it's flying around in a storm. You look at lack of preparedness is typically done by a lack of communication. When there's no effort given between, in our situation, no communication amongst our staff members or our staff to our community or residents back to us, that's when things start to break down. Fortunately here, in all my years here, we've had a good volunteer-based group of Hurricane Zona block captains who are my eyes and ears out in the community, and I couldn't thank them enough. So during about a week and a half ago on a Friday, I met with all of them early on, handed out the forms that I wanted them to hand out to you to start getting prepared for hurricane season. In the event of a hurricane, if we know that we're going to have one that impacts our area, I call them back together. And then I disseminate them out again to you all to find out if there's any last minute needs. Make sure that you have what you need, okay? And so again, there's been a great amount of communication between our residents and us through the years, and I'm grateful for that because that doesn't happen everywhere. So if we're under the threat of a hurricane, we do have essential staff that we bring on campus, our own staff. A lot of our ops staff are here for the duration of the event. You have medical staff that are here, some of the Be Well staff, admin staff is here. And we deploy everybody to where they're going to be. We got a lot to take into account out here. Not only from a staff side, right? So Chef Eddie's always making sure that we have plenty of rations to feed you all if we need be. It may not be your steak and potatoes that you're used to over there, all right? It might be PB&J, but we're going to have something for you to eat. And we've always got water that he takes into account. Every hurricane season it keeps in our supply, as do our healthcare facilities, because that's part of our emergency management plan that we submit to the county every year. All right? So I always like to remind everybody, in the event of a hurricane, our maintenance staff are going to be extremely busy. They're boarding up some of our older windows on some of the buildings, like the admin building in here. They're deploying and putting out sandbags, things of that nature. Right now, in the month of May, starting at the beginning of the month of May, they've been going through their own hurricane checklist. So we have water pumps that we utilize during hurricanes, portable generators, all the safety gear and whatnot. They're making sure that they're going through the checklist and making sure that they're running, getting repair parts, spare parts for it if we need them, all right? But during a hurricane, there's a lot that they need to take care of. And so this is my reminder to you all. Two things. If you're going away for the summer, all right, try to secure your items in your yards before you go away. Help us out a little bit. If you got bird feeders hanging up, take those down, take your flagpole down or whatever. Things that, so that at the last minute, as we're trying to take care of things around the campus, we're not, having to go out and remove those items. So if you're going away, for a lengthy period of time or whatever, please do that. The second thing is that everybody keeps asking me, what are these H4H signs I keep hearing about? Well, if you've been through the hurricane here, you know the H4H signs are handed out by the Zona Black captains prior to a hurricane. Okay, so meaning that I've called them together because we're expecting a hurricane impact. They're going to hand that to you if you're going to be in town for the hurricane and shelter in place. That goes in your window or maybe on your front door, somewhere that it identifies it's your home. I can tell you that after Hurricane Irma, back in 2017, there was a few residents who said that they were going to be home and decided at the last minute to leave and didn't notify us. And as we went around after the hurricanes knocking on people's doors and they didn't answer, we went in. because we didn't know if something happened to them, right? And just the opposite, there was people who didn't have the signs in their windows who decided to stay and didn't tell anybody that either. And so we made the assumption that they weren't there. We're here for you, all right? We're trying to keep the campus secure and people safe, and we also check up on you all. So please just communicate with us if you're going to be here or not going to be here for a hurricane. All right, communication. That's an important element of any emergency that we deal with out here is communication. As a staff, we're going to try to communicate as much as we possibly can for any emergency that's going to happen out here on campus. All right, so we have to work together for a successful outcome. What's a successful outcome? I can replace buildings. I can replace, equipment, things like that. I can't replace you. All right, so a successful outcome is all lives accounted for at the end, alive and well. All right, we may not be perfect when we're doing these things. We certainly learn from every hurricane that we go through. We get feedback at the end, and it makes us better. But at the end of the day, we just need to communicate. All right, any questions on that, on hurricane season? All right, well, we're going to pray that we don't get any. It was nice last year for the first time in ages not to have one hit the Atlantic seaboard. So, all right, termites. Yikes. What do we say about those? I wanted to bring this up today because we've gotten a flood of phone calls from people in the last few weeks about finding these bugs inside. A lot of them are finding them in their toilets or their bathroom areas, okay? And they're like, oh, these termites. Well, yes, they are, but they are not the termites that did the damage to the houses on Lark Court. Those are subterranean termites, right? Those are damaging, menacing little, I won't say it. The ones that we have out here are natural to the environment. They're called drywood termites, right? So we did call when we got the first report of them in. I told David, I said, well, we've got a termite contract with Truly Nolan, call out the rep. And he came out and he confirmed what we thought it was it's swarming season right now for these things. They're out in the environment. They love oak trees. We got a ton of them. We got huge forest areas across the street from us. They love rotted wood. They love untreated dry wood. Notice what I said there. Untreated dry wood, okay? So they swarm. They're a nuisance. I'm not going to lie. They're a nuisance. I hate finding them. I get them in my own house, and I don't have an oak tree around my house. But they happen every year. And for as long as I've been here, we've dealt with them. Some years we don't see hardly any of them. Other years, like this year, they've come early. Why? Because they like the hot, humid weather. And it's been hot and humid a little bit earlier this year than normal. So they're out in the environment. And it's swarming season, May and June. Now, it doesn't mean that they're going to last 2 solid months. As I called our rep from Truly Nolan, he says, Raleigh, he says, we may only see them once. They may be here for a week, and then they may disappear. Hopefully, you'll start seeing them getting less and less in the units now as they go. He says they can enter a unit. All they need is a pinhole to get through. Most of the time, when you're finding them in your bathrooms and your toilets, your drains, that's where they're coming from. It's because, one, they are poor flyers. They got tiny wings on them. They fly in swarms. They end up going down the vent stack for your sewer that comes out of your roof. That's how they end up down in your drains and whatnot, sometimes in your toilets and your bathrooms. They are a nuisance. They're pretty ugly looking, all right? And there's not, unfortunately, much that we can do about it. He says they're attracted to light. He suggested at night, close your blinds, at dusk. As soon as it turns dusk, close your blinds before they start coming out. If you walk out in the middle of the night, well, I wouldn't say the middle of the night, but you walk out after dark, and if you look up around the street lamps, they love those lamps. You'll see swarms of them up there. They're attracted to light. So any crevice of light that they see, they'll start swarming towards it. The other thing he said was, make sure that you're checking around your units, make sure there's no saturated areas of water. What he meant by that was not after a rainstorm like we get. He's talking about broken irrigation pipes, things like that. They're going to flood out your area. Well, yeah, we should be checking that anyways. All right. So those are just a couple of things to minimize it. They're also attracted to dead trees. They love dead trees. So he said, if you got dead trees, remove them. Get them out. Get them off your property. We got a forest full of them across the street, unfortunately. All right. So yeah, they are a nuisance, but they're not one of the 10 plagues. So that's good news, right? Hopefully, I know that's not what you wanted to hear. I'm probably sure you wanted to hear a more concrete answer of, well, can't we treat them? Can't we get rid of them? Drywood termites, there's not much you can do for them. You got to let them swarm and get out of the way, all right? And that's just the nature of it. So hopefully they will start lightening off. Hopefully this will be the only swarm you see of the season and they go away. But if you still have concerns, don't hesitate to call David in operations or myself. We'll come out and check it out just to give you a peace of mind. All right? Any questions on termites? Like the hurricanes, stay away, right? All right, a couple miscellaneous items I wanted to get to. One is the chargeback form. So if you have work, maybe some of you are familiar with chargeback forms. If you have work that's above and beyond a normal maintenance item, right? You want something done, or you bought something, you want it to put it together or something like that. Typically there's a charge for those things, right? Or let's say you bought a piece of furniture at a house sale, and you wanted that furniture, you wanted maintenance to come out and move it back to your house or whatever. There was a charge for that. I'm bringing this up because there's been a few instances recently where people have tried to hand the maintenance guys cash. And that's a no-no, right? We're a cashless system here at the Haven. The way it works is they would tell you the price, you agree upon it, it gets entered into the system and goes on your billing statement. So no cash or anything changes hands. No, when I say cash, that means checks too, all right? So why do I bring this up? Well, we don't want any insinuation of favoritism or impropriety or anything like that going on, all right? It may be harmless. You may give this guy, cash to go do something. Somebody else sees it and they're going to make an assumption that, oh, well, he gave him cash and I need to give him more so that, I get done what I want to get. That's not how it works. All right. 2, we don't allow our staff to receive tips for any services that are rendered here. Right. And 3, I don't want the maintenance guys losing your money on the way back to whoever they have to give it to. All right. So please, just a reminder, and this is mainly for, most of you know this, but this is maybe for people who might be watching who are new, that is our methodology for why we do chargeback forms. All right. Oh, wait, I thought I had something else on there. I guess not. There is one other thing. Jerry wanted me to bring up that since our resident handbook has gone out, all right, if you have any thoughts or concerns after you've read through it or maybe any ideas, please call Jerry directly. And, and he'll be more than happy to take those into consideration or do whatever. So, yeah, call the admin building. Janet knows where to put them.
Jerry, we have a man to remove from the
All right, well, I told you it'd be short and sweet. I was hoping to get you out of here before it starts raining. So we'll go to the question session. Yes.
What about irrigation going off at the wrong time?
Just repeat.
What about irrigation going off at the wrong time?
Thank you for bringing that up. I've already fixed 2 this morning. What about irrigation going off at the wrong time? So Matthew had already started working on that prior to the storm last week. And even some of the ones that he had fixed got hit with whatever power surge or whatever went out. And so we've got to go back around again to all the units and make sure that the times are running properly. So, what's that?
mine on Wingfoot, it doesn't really come on as much as the one, the lawn in front of the house, then the lawn a little bit further up. It comes on almost every day in hours, maybe once a week or twice a week at the most, and the lawn has dried up.
Okay. I'll have Matthew check it.
Better now. I don't
Okay.
think it was fixed. I'm not sure.
Okay, I'll ask Matthew about your particular lawn. But yes, we need to still go around and reset the time clocks. And we had a couple that got damaged by the lightning too, that got blown out that we have to replace now. Other questions?
We've seen vehicles in our neighborhood or hear vehicles like between 4 and 5 in the morning. And is that normal? Is that a security ritual that they go through? And also there's been people in the trash cans, garbage cans, like before 5:30 in the morning.
Okay, so is it normal for vehicles to be going through here 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning? Is that part of our security? And there's been people going through the garbage cans. I can say that some of it is security, because we have hired security, but we're not telling anybody the times are coming out. They're alternating their times when they're coming. So, they're days. It's typically the overnight times that I hire them for, but they alternate their days when they come out. So it could be them. I still have a few people that get newspapers. So it could be the newspaper delivery man. And I say that because I saw one this morning, and I'm one of the ones that sometimes rides through at 5 a.m. in the morning. When I get to work, I get on a golf cart and kind of tour the campus a little bit. So I saw the paper man delivering this morning right about that time. So it could be that. And as far as people on the garbage cans, believe it or not, 5:30, I saw a neighbor of yours going down the street putting stuff in the garbage can this morning. So I'm not saying it's him, but I don't know if people are dumpster diving out here. Well, that's what they call it. And, some people, we do have a problem with outside people coming onto our campus at various times of the day and dumping their own garbage in there, simply because they don't want to dispose of it somewhere else. We even have some people over on Newton, not Wynn, that come down and use the one on Outer Circle sometimes because theirs is overflowing and they don't want to dump it there. So it could be any number of things, but we'll certainly continue to keep an eye on that. Thank you for bringing that up. Anybody else?
Thank you. Could you please give us an update on the former termite house?
Can I please give you an update on the former termite house? Sure. So they're going fast and furious on it right now. They have a new inspector from the county who is giving them fits right now. Even though everything was submitted and approved, that their inspector up until about a month ago was fine, and then he got replaced. And so they're running into a few issues there, but they're still, while you might not see anything going on the outside of it, and that's mainly because they have to go up and add new nails because the code's changed, they're inside working quite often. So they are coming along. We're hoping by early summer that we can get our residents back in there. Absolutely. Hold on, I think Mr. Otto had yeah. Oh, did I? Okay. All right. Any other questions? Okay.
When our statement comes, the extra charges are all one lump. Is there any way to find out what they are?
Jerry? Go on the portal. They will bill.
Resident portal, iCare Connect. You can see if it's through the point of sale.
Resident portal, iCare Connect. If it's through the point of sale, you should be able to see the breakdown there. Okay. Other questions?
That's too much to remember.
It was a lot to say. All right. Well, blessings on your day. It's not raining yet, so hopefully you make it home dry. Thank you.